Yeah, well, the last bike that was on here, it was factory Fox there as well.
Yeah, this is just about half the size, I think, right?
Yeah, I would say so, for sure.
But it's not about size, it's how you use it, right?
Well, yeah, you had a smoking time last weekend. It's all the downhill guys that tried out Enduro, and then you did the Marathon XC race the day before, and then rode all the trails blind and smoked all the downhill boys on this bike.
Yeah, ideally I would have had my big trail bike, but I didn't have all the parts for it in time to build up, so I thought, hey, why not do a double weekend and do everything on the exact same bike, same tires, same everything. I did upgrade pedals to put ones with platforms, for sure, but I still had the little Peter Pan XE shoes, so it was, it was good, super fun. I was pretty impressed with the bike, actually. It was more, a couple of steep sections, I call the behind the seat near the tire the danger zone.
Danger zone, yeah.
And I was in that zone on a couple of the trails.
For sure.
But it was impressive with how, you never really know, and I never want to ride my bike that hard and push it when you have a big bike.
Yeah.
But I was like, this would be a good tester. And
well, I remember last year you telling me, you didn't want to put a dropper post on your cross-country bike because your limiting factor was, wheel sets buzzing the frame and, tires folding over, and you just rallied it. Yeah,
and I think that was definitely an issue before, was that you could outride the bike's limits, I guess. And then I also like to ride trails that maybe aren't as XC-esque as most people do on XC bikes. Like if you're coming from Ontario and riding an XC bike, you're not really pushing the boundaries too heavy, but here, descents are long enough and rough enough that you're overheating shocks, and if you're not running stiff carbon wheels, you're definitely flexing it to the chain stays and seat stays of the bike.
This is a 29er?
Yeah. So obviously, you have a lot more flex, right? So a deeper rim and shorter spokes, bigger flanges, all that stuff makes a difference with the wheels. And
definitely. So this is a full new setup for you this year. You're on the Fox stuff?
Yeah. Literally every piece is different except the drivetrain and pedals.
Yeah. So
it's been quite exciting. A bunch of the companies I've worked with in the past, when I was on Rocky Mountain, we had race face stuff. Back then I was on the cranks, we rode Fox suspension, I was on physique seats, race face cockpit, so it's kind of cool to go full circle 5 years later and be back on that stuff. And new tires this year, new everything, so it's been kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit biased because Raceface supports me, so when I heard that the other Peachland rider is on Raceface, I was pretty fired up.
All of Peachland's on Raceface.
That's right. Yeah, you guys, if you're in the Okanagan, you got to run Raceface. You got to support the local guys.
100%.
Sure. That's pretty cool.
So, and I'm sure when we were growing up riding too, we had Raceface bits on our bikes for sure.
Oh, I remember. Do you remember the Ultimate Freeride Challenge? They had you could submit videos and they'd vote against each one each week, and it would go to a heat. And eventually, guys like Wayne Goss, there was one guy who was the second coming of Josh Bender,
oh man,
just all these guys were just hucking themselves. Garrett Bueller was a finalist or a winner in that. Tyler Klassen was a winner.
Okay.
And that's how those guys got famous, was the Raceface Ultimate Freeride Challenge.
Man,
you guys got to bring that back.
Yeah, that's kind of cool stuff. Yeah, going way back then.
For sure.
Forget about that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, older than we look.
Yeah. No, I've been around for a while. I remember digging trails with you back. I don't know how old we would have been. 14, 13.
Yeah.
Digging trails up behind where I live and
using the sketchiest stuff, like pecker poles like this, and then ladder bridges where instead of every 3 inches or 2 inches there'd be a gap. It'd be every board would be missing almost. We just didn't have
enough wood.
Yeah, or enough nails. You just put them on top. Hopefully it works out.
Oh no. It's pretty fun because in the winter sometimes when I go snowshoeing back and where we had those trails and had ladders, some of the stuff's still standing. It's falling apart, but you're looking at the supports and it's this big, a 6 foot tall piece holding a ladder.
Yeah, we were probably 100 pounds back then, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, but our bikes probably weighed 60 pounds back then.
Same, it all equals out. That's pretty funny.
Too funny.
So, what races you've been having a pretty killer season so far? Some flat tires and that kind of held you back from what you should have been, but
yeah, it's been. I did a lot of changes this winter. This is kind of like a decider year for me if I'm going to continue. XC Olympic distance at this level, or maybe branch out to some different, more unique racing. Obviously, I have a bit of an inner love for enduro.
Yeah.
So maybe give some more of that a go if XC doesn't go the way I see it going this year. So things have been good. It's been a lot of southern racing in the States and Arizona
and
things like that. And there's been a couple mechanical issues, let's call it, and with the way things have, I think they've worked out pretty well, considering like things could have been a lot worse. And then the really big important races went well and they were clean, so I'm fine with that. Like bike racing, happens, right?
That's right.
Now we're just like finishing the spring campaign, I guess, and then we have the mid-season lull before the second half. So
and then fall for some more EWS stuff.
I've signed up for Whistler, Crankworks, Enduro, and Finale Lagur again. So this will be the 4th year going to Finale, and kind of is like the place where I've ended my season the last 4 years.
Right.
And definitely wanted to do the same this year. So
cool.
Looking forward to that. Go to Sun Peaks Enduro again.
Nice.
And they took the XC out of Crankworks this year for us. They moved it to June. So it might throw Crankworks off, but there's a big UCI race in Wyndham that weekend that you were talking about going to, maybe.
Yeah.
So depending if XC season's going really well and I'm going to Worlds, and points grab there makes a big difference. But if XC season's not going well, then EWS and Whistler sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So
those aren't bad options.
Yeah.
Speaking of, go ahead.
Otherwise it would have been similar to some of the races. Like you would have obviously been out of the Canada Cups next week and going to those as well.
For cross country, like, what's the incentive for you to go to a Canada Cup? Like, that's your stepping stone to go to a World Cup for you guys as well, or? I mean, you've already competed in World Cups, but like, what's the incentive for that?
Well, always like mentally and for sponsors. Racing at the front of races and trying to win those Canada Cups is always a big thing. And once you've won a Canada Cup or been on the podiums, then you always want to be shooting for that. And then our Canada Cups offer really good UCI points compared to a lot of races.
Okay.
So that makes a massive difference, obviously, for our starting positions in races.
Yeah.
At the moment, or last year I didn't have a ton. Let's say, and I would go to Europe and start 100th.
Yeah.
So last year I skipped the Canada Cups in May. I went to Europe starting 100th.
Yeah.
You can't really do anything. You get to the first single track, and I sit there for 2 minutes just standing, waiting for the traffic to clear, and you come through the first lap, and you're 4 minutes down.
That's crazy.
On the leader, but then at Sea Otter this year, you have a decent start, and I'm riding with the world champion, the Olympic champion in the front group after the first lap.
Yeah.
So it's crazy to see that you can do it, but if there's 100 guys in between you, obviously that doesn't happen. So Canada Cups are really important for getting points, and then I like supporting our national series. Yeah. And the development in Canada for bike races.
For sure.
That's a big thing, It's weird in Canada right now. There's a lot of people that aren't doing the national series races, but I think it's a very important stepping stone. And unless you can go to them and clean up at every single one consistently, then you're not really above that level.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you're not on a full ride on a World Cup team that's paying you to do well at World Cups, then why would you not be doing these awesome races that have some of the best courses in the world, some of the best venues in the world, and they're still very fun. Yeah,
agreed. I mean, the same thing, like, I had my plane tickets booked. I was going to do they had it pretty sweet this year for downhill, is back-to-back, the Mont Tremblant and then Blue Mountain. Yeah. My only gripe with the Canada Cup Series for downhill is the UCI points aren't that great.
Because they're C2s, right?
That's right, yeah. And I understand that, like, from an organizer's standpoint, like, it's the money to get into the Cat 1. The only Cat 1 for us is Crankworks, and that's like...
That's the biggest one.
It's crazy. It's basically a World Cup. Like, the guys that show up for that are top notch. So, I mean, it's cool because you got the competition, but, like, for me, being top 5 the last 2 years in the Canada Cup overall, and still not being able to, like, go to a Canada, like, a World Cup is kind of crazy. Like, it's bumped up every year. Like, before, they would send Canadians as petitioned riders to go to all these World Cups, and now they're cutting back on that because they're not sending coaches with those people. Henry Fitzgerald just got to do it. He's on a factory team. I'm not sure what happened there. It's awesome.
If you're on a UCI World Cup team, you don't need the points.
You do now. Okay. This is the first year, and they bumped up the point requirement. It's like 40. Yeah, it's 30 last year, 40 this year.
So if you win a C2, you don't even
have enough 30 points. Yeah. And like, Kirk's a guy that cleaned up the 2 Canada Cups he did last year, but like, most people have gotten their UCI points from going to World Cups, qualifying, and then keeping that rolling.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Once you get in and you kind of break that level,
yeah.
I don't want to say it's easier to maintain, but once you've got to that level, experienced it, and done that, there's something to be said about being able to rule that wave and stay there.
Yeah, and like having your eyes open to that level of competition, like, you know, really, you know, unless you go as a junior and get that experience, like, you know, if you miss the junior years and you're trying to go to a World Cup as just an elite coming back from an injury, and trying to get that experience, like, to open your eyes of like what the next level is.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's a big jump.
It is.
For sure.
The tracks are harder, practice is shorter, competition is World Cups. So
yeah. It's very different.
Yeah.
Very different. But yeah, it's hard right now. I have a lot of constructive comments on a lot of things, like we were just talking about there.
Yeah.
With taking riders to World Cups and why are they not filling spots and that, because, you know, if you're not getting to experience that level and get the chance to go there, how are you going to do it? There's a few people that can make it along the way, but it's tough when you're a privateer doing that kind of racing.
It's just I'm
going to say XC is a lot easier to be a privateer than a downhill racer, 100%, because I can go to a race and not have to change tires.
Right.
My bike's fine. I don't travel with like a kit to rebuild a whole bike because you don't go through that many parts.
Yeah.
Right, downhill.
It's like you need two bikes almost.
Yeah.
Like, like I go to just a national level race with 2 sets of wheels, period.
Yeah.
You know, 6 tires, spare rims to build up.
Yeah.
It just, you know, you make a mistake on a downhill course and it's like, need a new tire, need a new wheel. Like, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, there's stuff like Procore and HuckNorris inserts that help out with that. Like, I think the only Canadian guy that's doing the full series by himself, and it's only been him the last couple of years, is Forrest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. Mark, second, insane.
Yeah.
Finn's cleaning up. Miranda's up there. So there's a good showing of Stevie's legacy, for sure.
For sure. I think there's a good crew rolling through, showing it's possible, and you know, it's every country's got the opportunity, but Canada's got a good crop of riders coming through right now. So
definitely,
hopefully we see that trend continue up, but we need to support that.
Yeah, and that's
the biggest.
You know, I didn't know, but Magnus Manson is actually supported by the Stevie Legacy Fund.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, and like what a good use of the money. Like first year elite, was on the Da Vinci Global Racing team. You know, Kona gave him the spot for bikes, and then he got the support from the Stevie Legacy series, and like
it's pretty cool, right? Because you'd hate to see an opportunity like that slip away from a guy because he's got the talent and he's worked hard and he's obviously proven himself to be up there.
Yeah.
Doesn't get a full ride, but he's now got the support and has the opportunity to do that. But you'd hate to see someone like that not be able to do it if they didn't have that help.
Yeah.
Right? It really sucks because you see a lot of athletes in Canada have the ability to do things. They just can't financially do it and get there and make it happen. And you're a 17, 18-year-old kid trying to go to Europe and do things. It's pretty hard.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Right, and even as a 25-year-old guy, like the last couple of years, I've gone to the World Cups in the spring in Europe and rent a vehicle with a friend, and we go there and privateer the heck out of it, ride into the race with wheels hanging off our backpack, and finding someone to feed us and bribing them with chocolate. And,
right.
You know, like last year, I had one of my old teammates. He finished his U23 race in the morning, and he's drinking red wine in his water bottle in the feed zone, feeding me in the afternoon during my race. And you know, it's tough to figure it all out, right? But,
no kidding. It's addicting.
For sure.
It's super addicting.
I specifically remember a guy telling me that when I was growing up. It's addicting, bike racing, right?
Yeah.
For sure. But, I couldn't imagine doing it all and like anything else.
No.
That's for sure. It's a pretty cool sport. Like, played every sport growing up, and cycling's got something unique about it.
It does. Yeah. And I mean, you got stuff in the back burner. You know, you just got business admin. You finished that this winter?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. 5 years in the making, so finally finished school up and got that that tick in the box down, which is nice.
Yeah.
Started at 21, so I took a long break after high school. And I don't think after high school you could have paid me to go back to school.
No.
Sure enough, get older, more matured, as they say, and figured it out. But I also want to be a fireman later on, so it's just trying to acquire certain things along the way, so if I can get the school tick mark, and now in the off seasons when you have time, do some of the other things, like get some air brakes and class 3 driver's license and things like that, so that when the cycling thing runs its course.
Yeah.
The transition is smoother.
Yeah.
Quicker and more efficient.
It's, like, if you put all your eggs in the one basket, that trajectory of maybe getting, like, there instead of here, but if you miss it, you've got nothing. So, like, it's definitely good to have something on the back burner. A lot of the top pros are, like Miriam Nickel, physiotherapist, she's been working on that for a long time, so smart to have.
No, for sure, because there's going to be a handful of riders in downhill and XC that actually retire from racing.
Yeah.
Right, and if they have the opportunity to actually race for a 20-year career and make professional money for that 20 years, that helps. But most people,
no,
they're kicking the can, right? And by the time you decide to transition out, it's if you don't have someone on the back burner, definitely, it takes time, right? So. And
you've been doing some coaching as well.
Trying to with certain people. And doing it, it's more. I think it's just as fun and exciting for me as maybe hopefully it is for the athletes, but it's kind of cool because it's only gravity enduro downhill guys. So
right.
Not a single.
Are you allowed to say who you're coaching?
Yeah, so it's like coming up 2 years maybe. 2 years with me. Working with Anthony, and then I've been with McKay Vesna for about a year and a half.
Yeah, it's weird because like the last year and a half he's really skyrocketed in
I don't know what
results.
that could have been, Yeah. Crazy. Maybe it's all the time I spent with him in the winter eating cookies and
I bet that's
feeding him, dragging him behind me on the road bike, and now he's dragging me behind him on the road bike.
Dude's addicted to road biking. We love you, McKay, but you're addicted to road biking.
He rides road bikes a lot, but road biking there is better than mountain biking.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's what Elliot said too. He'd rather ride his road bike than a trail bike.
It's cool stuff. It reminds me of the Okanagan, but it doesn't have as much variety, I guess. But road biking, it's pretty good. And I guess if you're downhill enduro racer and you like road biking, that makes training quite easy.
Yeah, got the fitness for sure. Yeah.
So.
And then Bass as
started working with Bass this winter a little bit, so try to.
That's pretty cool. And he had a pretty good Crankworks, like.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully see him build from that, and obviously the dude's got a crazy amount of potential.
Yeah, no kidding.
Very talented rider, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully some of that fitness maybe plays a role. I'm not gonna. Take credit or tell anyone how to do any like gym stuff, because that's obviously you can tell I'm not a super gym rat myself.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know. Like talking to the guys, like it's interesting. I mean, most coaches are athletes or like have stepped back from it, but it's interesting, like just talking to you as like a peer for doing coaching. Like I know there's a lot of Performax, Blonde training. There's a lot of stuff that's going on there, but like I think that just having someone to be like, okay, today you're doing this, and tomorrow you're resting. Like seriously, tomorrow you're resting. This is like
that's the biggest thing is people holding you back most of the time, because like someone like yourself, you're very keen and hardworking and always wanting to go right, and it's more. So it's never having to push you to actually work hard. It's more like, okay, you just did a bunch of good work. Now let's chill out for a day or two. And actually make the gains from that versus digging that big hole into darkness that you can't come out of. And I just believe like fitness makes everything in life easier, from walking up the stairs to carrying milk jugs to standing at work all day. But, it's obviously different. So maybe I'm biased with the fitness side of things because I come from XC. But even now, technically in XC, things are changing where they giving us stupidly weird features that I don't even know if I'd call bike skill that
really
make that happen. But downhill enduro, right? It's time on the bike and its speed makes
for sure
big key part, right? But if you can do 15 laps of downhill practice over 7 and not be crushed,
for sure.
I assume that's
no, I think so.
Hopefully helpful.
Or even just being able to like get more out of practice, being able to push harder in your practice. To simulate a downhill run, and then like when you have your race run, when you're getting wild, like to be able to do that push up to push yourself off the bar is like it makes a big difference for sure.
Definitely so.
It's cool.
But hopefully we'll see you kicking things back up soon and screwing some cleats into the bottom of that cast and pedaling the bike here.
I'll be good to it, but as soon as you saw the training program. It's like I'm gonna go for a road ride the same day this thing comes off for sure.
That's gonna be. We'll give you a good one. 5 hours.
5 hours. Yeah.
Just go work hard. You gotta make up.
Definitely. I've been talking to Aaron Doby as well. He's elite downhill biker as well. He's just finished his physiotherapy certification, so he's been giving me little hints all the time. Like, okay, actually, like on this week you can start doing this now. So.
That's probably
thanks, Toby.
Yeah, pretty good. So you don't get out there too crazy. But
yeah, exactly.
Injuries are hard. Like, knock on wood, I've been fortunate.
Yeah.
With nothing broken, but man, I can't imagine being laid up. It'd be hard, right?
Yeah, I mean,
wanting to just go.
Just ends up, pay to play sometimes. I mean,
yeah,
it's just, I mean, downhill is risky, but it's just some of it's just luck.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh no, for sure. Sometimes things just happen, right? So quick, you don't even know, and it's weird. I took a tumble on the weekend that was awkward and weird and quick, but on a wet, slippery bridge that had a whoop weird thing, and Vancouver, it's wet, and there's nothing on the bridge, and sure enough, you're down, but the arm comes out, and in your head, you're just panicking because that goes down, and that could have been an arm gone right there, right? But sometimes luck of the draw, right? Slips out, or
no kidding.
You don't quite do it, but some people get shit end of the stick, go down and both wrists gone, or
and I think part of it is just like being able to like roll through things, like just rolling with whatever it is. You can't really learn that. It's just like instinct.
Tuck and roll, I think, comes from the inner side that you practice for.
No kidding. Cool, man.
That's for sure.
Sweet. Well, it's probably getting late for you. It's what, like 7:40? Another 20 minutes bedtime.
XC bedtime. Yeah, I gotta go eat my batch of cookies here and then go porpoise out.
Yeah.
Lay back and get the beauty sleep and get back at her tomorrow.
There you go. There's knowledge and insight from Peachland's fittest and Peachland's most broken.
Cha-ching.
It's the only tech tip for you. We're going to talk about tire protection systems that are used in conjunction with tubeless tire setups. So we've got Procore and HuckNorris are the two that I have the most experience with. First off, the HuckNorris. It's a foam insert. So this is a tire that has HuckNorris installed in it. So this is, you can see the tire's flat, but on the sides here, if I try to push the sidewalls in, that's where the HuckNorris is. It's basically a foam insert that gives you bottom-up protection on your rim, so you're less likely to get a rim dent. With the trend of going with a wider rim, you've got less tire that's overhanging over top of the rim, and so you're actually more likely, if with the same size tire, to get a rim dent. You get a better volume tire, you get better tire feel. In my opinion, like a 2.35 Magic Mary, this is a super gravity on a 30 mil Race Face Arc 30 rim. I really like the tire feel with it, but with the 2.5 Magic, I get the same rim protection that I would with like a 27 or 25 mil internal width rim. So once I put the HuckNorris in here, I found that reliability was really similar, and the tire feel was pretty similar to like a DH casing. I'm running pretty low tire pressures, like 23, 25 front and back, 23 in the front with a super gravity, no HuckNorris, 25 in the back with a HuckNorris. And I know a lot of the guys I was staying with in Tennessee for the Pro JRT were actually really doing a number on the rims, and I was with the same set of wheels all weekend, so that's pretty cool. I'll show you what this looks like. So just removing the tire here, it's actually noticeably more work to pull that bead off of the side of the rim and into the drop center, because that HuckNorris is in there. It's not insane, like it's still doable with your hands. Here we go. This is the HuckNorris tire insert. You can take a look at it there. It's just like a dense foam. I just use Stan's normal sealant. It doesn't coagulate too bad on this stuff, and the weight penalty is pretty marginal. Just really helps out for those oops moments. You can see right here, there's a indent here, cut mark here. I mean, it's definitely been doing work. So yeah, there's no dents in this rim, so I'd say it's been doing its job. With everything else, like, you want to check your tire pressures before you go riding, but it definitely helps for rimming out. I would say that if you're running, like I don't run it on my trail bike, but I run super gravity tires on my trail bike. I don't really have like the oops moments on my trail bike that I do on like a race course when you're trying out new lines and that sort of thing. You don't get the puncture protection with the HuckNorris, like as far as like tire casing goes. If you have an EXO or snakeskin tire on your trail bike, you're definitely going to get a better tire feel with the HuckNorris because it's actually holding the beads out and it will be less squirmy. But I prefer the feel on my trail bike with super gravity tires even without the HuckNorris. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, this is a tire that's been in there since Tennessee, which was a couple months ago for me. And like it comparatively to the Procore, this guy here, which I ran last summer, it kind of gets that, you know, that feeling with you when you take a tube out of a tire that's been in there for a while and it peels out. Well, the same thing happens with Procore. You're running a tube inside of a tube system, and with the Procore I found that I was running this for practice. Like anytime I was on my DH bike, I would run the Procore. It was just in my practice wheels, whatever. But the stands would kind of clump inside there and really stick to it. And so for that reason, it was kind of a pain in the butt. Like I maybe you guys can give me an idea of how to clean stands off things. When I was at World Champs last year, the Schwalbe Tech in Val d'Isole was suggesting that Cafe Latex made a product that removes stands. I haven't tried it. Maybe I'll try to get a hold of some of them and let you guys know. But that was kind of the number one downfall for me with Procore was not reliability, but just like you kind of need to change your system after a season. I mean, the HuckNorris is kind of the same way. If you're really abusing it, you're gonna put holes inside that foam. But if you look, this is a new smooth system here. There's no stand stuck anywhere on it. I'll hold that up to you. You can see one's dark, gross. I've tried to clean this one before, and this is a new one. The cost of Procore is quite expensive. This is like $300 retail Canadian for a setup, whereas a set of HuckNorris is about $100. This is a more complex system, and I would say that this probably provides more protection. I really enjoyed Procore, especially at the Canadian Open course. Just last summer, I found like with the square edge hits, I could run the Procore in there, and like it was just confidence inspiring because you weren't hearing that rimming out. The same thing would likely help with the HuckNorris, but not to the same extent as the Procore. Because when this is in place, it's actually on the inside of the rim. I'll show you. So one thing I'll touch on with the Procore setup here is I was telling you guys before about trying to seat tubeless tire setups without a pump. With this rim, I'm running Gorilla Tape. The R3 rims themselves, they don't come taped. Obviously, you're going to have to lace them up yourselves. But the Turbine R wheels come with just one strip of factory rim tape. It's that orange stuff you've seen in like Easton wheels, the factory race face wheels, similar to the stand stuff. Nice tough tape for one set. With Procore, you want something thin like that. You either want one strip of just some good high quality rim tape. The Gorilla Tape, is quite thick, and this doesn't seat as well with it. So you've got basically what looks like a road tire inside where you're going to put another tire. So you just take at your old setup, it's like a orange or red lock ring. So you get the orange or red lock ring, Schwalbe tube, I guess more specifically a Procore tube, and that's going to go inside the tube there. This little guy here is actually what lets the air come out of this chamber. There's a special step valve that holds it up to let air either outside into your tubeless chamber or inside this tube, which is what the Procore is all about, holding it to the outside of the rim. So here's me inflating the tube only. If you take this off, you actually move this valve. And now you can hear that air escaping, and that's what would fill the chamber inside the tire. We're just pumping up the Procore. You can see, so there's the Procore there. You can see it's not, just pumping up the Procore, you can see it's not seated yet, but it will be. It basically sits along the side of the rim. Normally your tire would be there in between, and it would get sandwiched against the sidewall. So that'll pop out to the sides, and this is the bumper essentially. You'd inflate that up to recommended pressure. It's like 4 to 6 bar. It's like 55 to 85 psi. But you always have this volume of tire that sits there, and it works like a bumper. So if you've got a tire sitting above it, if you imagine that, it almost changes the way the tire reacts. I had an issue at a race where trying to get small bump compliance out of my bike on repetitive hits to get the back end to sit down was kind of an issue with the Procore because of the volume, or so I thought, in the tire. I just felt like instead of staying kind of stuck on the ground, it was really active in the rear end, and on the, kind of the square edge hits, really fast repetitive stuff, I found like the bike wasn't quite tracking. So I removed it, and I just went with just a tire by itself, and it seemed to make a difference, although it was kind of a race run fix. And yeah, I thought I burnt my tire because I was used to how the Procore went. So yeah, it's a really cool system, but you'll want to test it and know how it reacts before you commit to it. It worked really well. Like Canadian Open last year, my practice wheel sets, I had a set of DT Swiss wheels that were pinned, not welded. I didn't realize it, but the pin was actually separating, and so every run I was getting a flat tire. And by the time I got to the jump sections, I was just riding on the Procore, hitting all the jumps, and like it was staying on the bead. So that was pretty cool. The Canadian Open schedule is pretty close. You don't have a lot of practice time. I didn't have anybody supporting me with other wheels, so the parking lot was like probably an hour return trip away, and like I just kept pumping it up between runs. So yeah, like the rim was pooched. It's nice, like these turbine R's are welded, those Arc 30s are welded. It's kind of a non-issue, but just food for thought. I mean, every system has its own drawbacks. Both of them add rotational weight. For downhill, it's less of an issue. You want reliability as number one. I haven't tried those FTD inserts, but the cool thing with the Procore is it does actively hold the bead of your tire in there, and you can adjust the tire pressure in here. So you can actually change. It's kind of like the suspension curve of the tire. If you wanted it to be more progressive and like a harsher bottom out, you could really run this thing hard. And if you want it to be more linear and just like focus on having like the bead lock control in there, then you can run less pressure. I ran less pressure than they recommended when I was doing it all the time, and I felt like that was a good balance. I did once pop a tube in here. I tried to run baby powder like I was telling you guys before, and it helps slide on the inside. But if you do have it stuck in there all the time, they end up kind of getting welded together. So for most of the like BC Cup and Canadian National tracks, like they're gnarly, but they're not like Mont Saint Anne gnarly. So for the most part, either go with like a super gravity tire for myself and a HuckNorris, Canadian Open, and like say like something like Mont Saint Anne, or something with sharp rocks that you're hitting fast and you're just trying to keep things together. Go with like a downhill tire, maybe plus this and HuckNorris in the front, I don't run tire protection in the front typically. I will be trying a 2.5 tire on the 30 mil internal width with the Procore inside of it, and I think that the larger volume tire with the Procore inside of it will be less affected, because you have so much room in that tire that it won't feel like you're not really getting that traction that you are with like a 2.3 tire. That was also a narrower rim, but I think again for tire protection, like if you're running Procore and a wider rim, also the volume won't be as high. So a couple cool things. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, that's my take on the Procore system and the HuckNorris system. I think you got to go tubeless regardless what you're doing. So try them out, and good luck with flats.